Hello students, today I am continuing the fourth lesson, that is weathering and soil formation. In the previous topic you have learned about the rocks, the types of rocks. In this lesson or in this topic you will learn about the weathering, the types of weathering and the types of weathering in detail. Landforms are constantly changing. The extent to which a landscape is modified depends on many factors such as internal processes, external forces, nature of rocks, and the length of time these processes have been acting. The wearing away or breakdown of rocks by agents present in the atmosphere like temperature, moisture, and frost is known as weathering. Disintegration is the breaking up of rocks into fragments, whereas decomposition is the decay of rocks due to decomposition due to chemical action. The rocks near or on the surface of the earth constantly break into pieces and decay. It is done by various agents of erosion. In other words, we can say that weathering is a static process. Thus, weathering is different from gradation or erosion, which is a dynamic process. Moreover, weathering prepares the material for transportation by other agents of gradation. Now the types of weathering. On the basis of its impact on rocks, weathering can be of three types: mechanical or physical, chemical weathering, and biological weathering. First, mechanical weathering. Any of the various weathering processes that cause physical disintegration of exposed rocks without any change in the chemical composition of the rock is known as mechanical or physical weathering. There are different causes of mechanical weathering that includes plants and animal activity, fracturing and abrasion. Mechanical weathering generally occurs in areas that have a considerable diurnal range of temperature or fluctuations where the temperature may fall down to freezing point. Physical weathering is also known as mechanical weathering because the weathering takes place due to direct mechanical contact with heat, water, temperature, ice, wind, etc. Air and water have large amount of energy and momentum. When they collide with the stationary rocks, they impart their high value of momentum and energy to the rocks, which results into fragmentation of some amount of main rocks, which is called physical weathering. The first factor of the physical weathering or mechanical weathering is change in temperature. The coarse grained rocks are more affected by shattering process in hot deserts due to high range of daily temperature. If the rocks are coarse grained and are of different colors, they absorb insolation differently. Thus, the different parts of the same rock mass receive and absorb different amount of insolation. Consequently, the different part of the rocks are affected by differential expansion and contraction, which cause stresses within the rocks, due to which they are disintegrated into smaller particles. Such type of shattering of rocks is called granular disintegration, which is more active in hot desert areas. Second cause of the mechanical weathering is the freezing action of water. It is one of the most important agent of mechanical weathering. Bare rock surfaces are heated during daytime, due to which their outer layers expand. During nights, the rocks are cooled due to relative decrease in temperature, which leads to contraction in the outer layer of the rocks. Thus, the repetition of expansion and contraction of outer rock layers causes tension and stresses, which introduce parallel joints in the rocks. The rocks then are disintegrated along these joints, and broken big blocks of rocks are dislodged from the main rock mass and fall down the slope under the impact of gravity. This process of physical weathering is called block disintegration. It is also called as frost action because of the continuous freezing and thawing of water due to low temperature. Now the second type of weathering, that is chemical weathering. Decomposition and disintegration of rocks due to chemical reactions is called chemical weathering. Chemical weathering leads to changes in the chemical composition of minerals present in the rocks. Chemical weathering takes place in the presence of water. Therefore, it is a more potent type of weathering in humid regions. The rate of chemical weathering depends upon temperature also. Generally, the rate is higher in tropical areas with higher temperature. This type of weathering implies removal of some of the minerals from the rocks so that the rocks become porous and weak and start crumbling. It involves a number of chemical processes, among which solution, oxidation, carbonation and hydration are more important. The first agent of chemical weathering is solution weathering. First is the solution. Dissolution is the process wherein the rainwater mainly acid rain, dissolve the soluble minerals present in the rocks. These minerals like limestone, rock salt or gypsum dissolve in water and thus disintegrate in the form of solution. This results in the breakdown of the rock. Oxidation is the process in which oxygen of atmosphere reacts with minerals in the rocks and produces oxides or hydroxides. A number of minerals otherwise insoluble become soluble after their oxidation. This process is most effective in case of the rocks having a large content of iron compounds. Oxidation of such rocks forms a yellowish or reddish crust that crumbles readily. Oxidation of rocks containing iron compounds is similar to rusting of iron. This is a result of oxygen combining with iron in the presence of moisture and formation of iron oxides, which easily crumbles and can be removed by rainwater also. The third agent is hydration. Hydration is a process involving absorption of water by some minerals in the rocks and their crumbling into powdery mass. Absorption of water leads to expansion of the mineral particles and it causes stress within the rocks and the rock may crumble due to this stress. Clay is an example of rocks highly susceptible to the process. Feldspar, which is a common crystalline mineral found in rocks, absorbs water and becomes a mass of clay through hydration. The other minerals forming the rock and thus separated and the whole rock breaks down. Rocks containing a large clay expand when wet and develop cracks on drying. The fourth is the carbonation. Carbonation is a result of reaction of atmospheric carbon dioxide with rock minerals and some of the minerals that are otherwise not soluble can be removed easily through this process. Limestone is especially susceptible to this process. Generally, the limestone or calcium carbonate is not soluble in fresh water, but the rainwater containing carbon dioxide in it act as a mild carbonic acid and converts the calcium carbonate into soluble calcium bicarbonate. Thus, the rainwater erodes limestone and other calcareous rocks easily through this process. Now, the third type of weathering, that is biological weathering. The disintegration of rocks and minerals due to the chemical and or physical agents of an organism is known as biological weathering. Biological weathering can be caused by the plants or trees, animals or human beings. Trees, bushes and other plants may take root in cracks in rocks and may grow from there. As the plant grows bigger, the roots grow bigger and deeper, widening cracks and splitting them apart. Decaying roots also add organic acids to the joint, speeding up the weathering process. Burrowing animals can break up rock underground or move rock fragments to the surface, exposing the rocks to more intense chemical, physical and biological processes and so indirectly enhancing the process of rock weathering. When animals graze at a particular area, they uproot the small plants and bushes which loosens the rocks and widens the cracks. The areas where animals graze are exposed to the external factors responsible for the weathering of rocks. Human beings also cause the biological weathering. Many activities of the human beings directly or indirectly lead to weathering of rocks. Human activities such as mining, quarrying for industrial material, highway construction, building foundation, deforestation, blasting of hills and ridges by dynamite to build dams, and land cultivation result in fast disintegration of rocks. So I am concluding the topic today. I will continue the lesson in the next video, in which I will teach you about the effects of weathering, soil profile, and how can we save or conserve soil. So thank you for watching this video and watch the next video.